So we are back with Kendall from Kitchen Finks to play some testing. Because I've been itching to do it, I'm going to play a little bit more of my mono black control deck. Spoilers, I'm playing that. That said, I helped him build his deck earlier, so it's only fair. Okay, this deck seems really good against any deck that tries to do damage with creatures and spells. Let's see about this.
No, turn one Delver.
Yep. Kendall is playing a blue-black Delver list, which looks pretty interesting, so we'll see how that goes. Color-wise, it's the mirror match. Hand-wise, it's probably anything but. That's kind of unfortunate for us. We're gonna sit back and let it be because who cares about Augur anyway?
It's card advantage.
Notably, Kendall's Delver deck is the deck of Incidental Mill. His deck has White of Precinct 6 and some of that sort of thing to try and get some value.
Hopefully it succeeds sometimes.
Yep. Similarly, it would be nice if my deck did anything ever, but I'm not really staring into the barrel of a gun at this moment, so it's okay if it takes a little bit longer. Alright, so we're gonna make Kendall give up one of his creatures. Ideally before the Thought Scour so it doesn't get bigger. And then we will kill the other. Because our opponent cares about his graveyard, I'm gonna expand that too. So you can see both. Alright, so we're still loaded for bear, but unable to do anything. It would also be more scary if Kendall had things like draw spells so that he would be able to start taking control of the game, but that said, we don't either. We have Sign in Bloods to draw cards in this deck, but we have not seen any. Okay, so we're drawing out some of Kendall's counterspells. And he is milling me. Notably, the white is kind of a... Alright, yeah, okay. I forgot for a second if it was creature cards in my deck or his deck.
Yeah, it's your graveyard.
Right.
It's not a Splinter Fright.
1 second.
So like a reverse. Does Thought Scour resolve? You gonna counter it?
Nope, I am not going to counter Thought Scour. That's letting them win. Yeah, sorry, the phone rang real quick, but I had to take it. Alright, let's see exactly how many kill spells our opponent has. We can go back and forth all day. I was actually just telling him that Night Veil Spectre is maybe my favorite thing in the colors. So hopefully it stands up to... Notably, White of Precinct 6 is a zombie, so we'll have to play with that in mind.
Bam!
Okay. I'm going to do this now when I think it's safe. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with getting that countered because I would much rather save any cheaper kill spells for when I care more. A 3/3 is not nearly as scary as his white can get. I need to also be careful that the incidental mill will not just kill us, notably. Alright. Kendall is down to 2 cards in hand. For what it's worth, Kendall, I'm not a big fan of Spell Rupture.
It's really good with a flipped Delver.
It is, but it's also vulnerable to like removal spells, which I don't really like in a.
Well, I think personally, I think it's the spell that is going to make Delver playable again. It's in a Delver deck. It's almost as good as Mana Leak.
Interesting. We'll have to keep testing it and see how it looks then. Alright, we'll always yield to this so that it stops coming back and notifying us. Good, we like seeing an unsummon. Now our creature cannot be killed by a single removal spell. Looks like Kendall's probably flooded on lands, which is unfortunate for him, but pretty okay with us. He is also flooded on cereal. Alright. We get some additional removal spells.
Yeah, I think the land count might be 22 lands might be too much. I just the only reason I chose 22 was that the Bant Delver deck that is making a little bit of a splash in the daily events runs 22 lands, so I don't know, 21 or 20 might be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many 4-drop and hires does it have?
Just the Consuming Aberration.
Fair enough. Yeah, you might be right. Hey, you want to see my top card? Alright, so soon we will have Alucard there. Did you ever play Symphony of the Night?
Symphony of the Night?
Sorry, Castlevania. Symphony.
Castlevania? No, I did not.
Yeah, unfortunately Kendall's quite swamped, or quite flooded, and we are not, but sometimes that happens. So I am unwilling to tap my island because it can do things. It can cast some of these blue spells that we've got sitting here in emergencies. So I kind of like keeping Dimir Charm, Unsummon, and anything in our hands up. So while I could definitely use that to mess with the top 3 cards of his deck or something, I think I'm going to hold on to it. Alright, so that is an instant, so we cannot counter it. We will, however, unsummon our creature. If he has a second removal spell, I'm fine with that. And it exiles the cards that he had buried. Come on, black spell. Alright. So we have 10 damage from creatures on the board. It's not worth making more vampires when we can just get him down to where one creature is lethal. That makes it so that drawing a single removal spell will not save him, so I'll do that. Though obviously I'm going to get my Spectre back out. Gotta keep that dreaded Spectre looming before him. I guess it's not a pun when it's referencing an actual Spectre. I feel like going up to the full number of Night Veil Spectres is better when my opponent has spells that I will always be able to cast. Also, he seemed a bit low on the creature count, so I don't necessarily need as much removal. Also, these are pretty good. Duress would be good, but I'm not convinced that I need it against his deck. I think it's not necessarily a good value, so I'm gonna wait on that. I'm going to cut a couple of Victim of the Nights because his scariest creatures seem to be zombies. Obviously, we know he has Delver, although he hasn't shown it yet. So in part, I could do that for testing. But also, I'm definitely pretty scared of his whites. So we'll see how this goes. That said, his whites aren't that great because our deck has very few creatures in it. So it would be a good idea for Kendall to sideboard those out against our deck in some way. Alright, that's going to be a problem.
Well, see, I think the thing about the white, though, is that he doesn't have to get that big. Even if he's like a 3/3, then he's still pretty relevant.
I'm just surprised that he got to a 3/3. In your shoes, I would probably be siding in the Nighthawks instead. Just because it can get damage through, but it's also good. Alright, he basically did reveal Delver into Psychic Strike almost, which is pretty scary. Don't necessarily want to draw cards. Yeah, let's hold off. I could have played my Sign in Blood to draw some cards, but I don't like shooting myself in the face against pretty aggressive Delver hand. That said, obviously, since his Delver didn't flip, it might not have been as scary as it seemed. Alright. What do we want to have Psychic Strike? Alright, let's Psychic Strike our Vampire. Alright. See, now I feel like I'm metagaming Kendall because I'm saying I'm willing to have my guy Psychic Strike, so it's as though he doesn't want to play around it because of it. Alright, so he gets our creature. Gains that's fun. Also, now that we've played a spell, Sign in Blood will not make us discard, so that's another reason worth waiting on it. Alright. So Kendall's got something he really wants to cast. Let's see what it is. Out of curiosity, did you have something you wanted to augur into, or did you just want to leave the mana up in case he drew something good from augur? Fair enough.
Well, I was gonna spend 4 mana. Yeah, I'll say that.
All right. Let's see what we can get. All right, that's pretty good. Drew some removal, which is always nice. And Kendall drew some land, so that's awesomely good for him.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to go down to 21 at least.
Yeah, and sample size, it's really hard to tell. Right, so we're gonna make Kendall use his spell to save his Delver, because that's really his only good damage source on the table right now. I should really modify my files for Magic Online so that it's got a banana peel on the card. Okay, so we know he still has a Syncopate in hand. Let's see if he has anything else.
Wait, what?
You revealed a Syncopate for your August, for your Augur.
There's 2 Devour Fleshes there. Okay, I was like, what's the 3rd card?
Oh yeah. Alright. Because this plays around Syncopate, I'm going to go ahead and throw out my Mutilate here. It's the foil one. I could have played any of my spells because he was tapped out, but I think that one was the best one for now. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about him not being, about the white not being that scary right now. Kendall may have the right of it. We shall see. Okay. So it looks like a Psychic Strike. Yep. So we will get to force his white to be killed before it gets bigger. Okay. Kendall's at 2. We are at 2 cards in hand. We are at 3. I'm going to just play every land I get because my opponent has shown me Syncopate and not even played it yet. So we get to Syncopate here. Just because I've got enough mana up, Kendall, I would probably have saved some of the, I guess you would only be saving 2 mana up, but you could pretend you had something.
I don't have any cards in hand.
Oh, yeah, well, there's that, never mind. I thought you had one more. So.
An invisible flashback card.
Yeah, Invisible Stalker, right? You can't see the card in his hand because it's invisible. Alright, so we've lost 2 Bloodline Keepers. Let's see how many he can get rid of. Alright, so I'm going to hide the revealed cards because we've already seen them. So we don't want to forget. Oh wait, no, I need that window open because he's about to reveal a Tribute to Hunger. Alright. Kendall, you, sir, may take your pick. Which terrifies you? Oh right, Tribute to Hunger, he doesn't get to take his pick. For some reason I was thinking he had severed the Bloodline, but it's me who always has an infatuation with that card. That's fine. I'm honestly kind of happier with the Spectre, but that's probably wrong. It's just kind of a pet card. Alright, got a land?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any tricks that would make this a bad idea, so let's see. He doesn't have any instant speed like give Death Touch cards. Although that would be pretty wicked.
That you know of.
I mean, Serpent's Bite or whatever it's called exists. It's a card. Kind of.
Isn't there like a death something or other?
It's distinctly possible. Alright, so I'm going to play his land just for the rubbins. Maybe I should have killed his creature last turn while I could, just because there's a chance that he's going to play an equipment card or something. That said, it's probably good that I saved my removal. Of course, on my turn I'm going to attack first, so I can ideally use his removal instead of mine. But we'll see. Alright. You know, I think that bloodline's going to be okay. We keep going through keepers, but there's always more keepers. I should perhaps not trash talk about what's in my hand, but it's fun. Actually, that bloodline's not going to be okay because it got severed. And we've got the Dispel up in case he ever tries to counter anything. Alright, and too little too late to save his bloodline. Here it is. I'm going to play Dispel.
Yep.
I have to make the bad puns. That's my job. Alright, definitely keeping Bloodline Keeper back to create little vampires. Let's see if we had better luck with Augurs than Kendall did.
I got some good stuff with my Augurs. I just needed to flip the Delver earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because we have the flashback available, I'll go ahead and just get his Augur out of the way. Oh wait, that's silly, because it kills mine too. That's fine. I didn't like that guy anyway. He owed me money or something. Kendall, are you running Victim of Nights?
No.
Okay.
I think I was gonna run Murder, but then I didn't. My Rune Chanter's Pike.
Yep. Night Veil Spectre it's one of those cards that's not quite as good as it seems when it's actually like on a roll, but when it's on a roll it just seems so unbeatable. Alright. Pike Mirror.
Oh, but you've got 13 damage here. Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, especially because you've been incidentally milling me, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of turning on my Pike. Alright, so that matchup went to me. I'll go ahead and end this video and start another one so we can go ahead and test another round.